There's something really strange about the timing of life. You ever notice how the second you let go of needing something so badly, it somehow shows up in your life? Or at least, something better finds its way in. And it's not even some big dramatic moment. It just quietly finds you. That shift, that weird relief that happens when you stop chasing and start trusting. There's something to it. And I don't mean trust like sitting back and hoping things magically fix themselves. I mean real trust. The kind where you stop gripping so tightly to what you think is supposed to happen, and you let whatever's meant for you find you. Whether you call it the universe, God, or something else, there's a rhythm to it all. But you can't hear it when you're yelling over it with your plans and your timelines. There was this thing I heard a while back. A guy was talking about how life gives you exactly what you need for who you're becoming. Not what you want in the moment, but what you'll need later. Because think about how many times you didn't get what you wanted, and later you were glad you didn't. Or how many delays and disappointments ended up leading you to better people, better lessons, or better versions of yourself. You can call that luck, or timing, or the universe having your back. Whatever word fits. But it's hard to deny that something's working behind the scenes. And the moment you stop panicking, the moment you stop trying to force life to match your expectations, that's when you start to feel something shift. Let me show you what I mean with something a little closer to real life. There's this story I always think about. This girl I used to know, she spent years applying for dream jobs. I'm talking constant effort, resumes, interviews, late nights prepping portfolios. But every time, the door would close right at the last second. Either they'd go with someone else, or the offer would disappear, or the company would downsize mid-process, over and over again. At one point, she broke down. She said, "I don't get it. I'm doing everything right. What more am I supposed to do?" And I remember just sitting there with her, not really having the answer either. I didn't want to throw some cliche at her like, trust the process or everything happens for a reason. That kind of stuff doesn't hit when you're in it. It just feels like noise. But what's wild is this. About 8 months later, she ended up landing a position she hadn't even applied for. Someone she barely knew had passed her name to a creative director at a completely different company. No job post, no public listing. It came through word of mouth. They called her in for a casual meeting that turned into a full interview. 3 days later, offer. No red tape, no weird last-minute fallback. And it ended up being way more aligned with who she actually was than the roles she had been chasing so hard before. And the crazy part? During that 8-month gap, when she felt like nothing was happening, she'd unknowingly been building a portfolio around the kind of projects that this job actually required. So even the delay had a reason. Even the quiet time had value. See, that's the part no one tells you. Just because something's not happening doesn't mean something's not working. The silence in your life isn't empty. It's just quiet. There's a difference. And when you loosen the grip a little, when you stop asking why hasn't it happened yet and instead lean into maybe it's not supposed to happen yet, you shift from desperation to alignment. You stop sprinting and start walking with whatever's moving underneath the surface. Again, whether you call that the universe, God, life, spirit, whatever makes sense to you, it's always moving, just not always loudly. That job, that person, that answer, it might not come when you beg for it. It might come when you're finally okay without it. Sometimes the hardest thing you'll ever do is nothing. Not giving up. Not running away. Just not forcing it. We're so conditioned to think we always have to do something. Fix it. Push harder. Manifest faster. Get a plan. And then a backup plan for the plan. And when things feel stuck or slow, the first instinct is panic. We go into fix-it mode like our life is a broken sink and we're the plumber. Sometimes what looks like stillness is actually the most powerful movement happening beneath the surface. Think about this. Have you ever had something completely fall apart only to realize later it was exactly what needed to happen? That moment you didn't get the thing you thought you needed, and months down the line you're like, damn, that would have ruined me. It's wild how often life protects us through what feels like rejection. And look, I'm not saying sit around doing nothing forever, but what I am saying is, trust doesn't mean you never act. It means you act when it's time, and you rest when it's not. It means you stay in motion when the current flows, and you stay grounded when the current pauses. There was a time in my own life when everything was quiet, like dead silent. Friends were moving forward, jobs were popping off, everyone seemed to be climbing, and I was just in limbo. Nothing was clicking. And I started feeling behind, like maybe I'd missed something or taken the wrong path. But looking back now, that silence was the bridge. That pause was building me up in ways I couldn't even understand at the time. I was learning patience, learning to let go of control, learning to sit with myself without always needing answers. That space became sacred, because in that stillness, the real me came out. Not the performer, not the fixer, just me. When you're not desperate, you make better choices. You're clearer. You're slower to chase things that don't align just because you're scared of the quiet. And that is where life starts to align itself with you. Not the version of you that's panicked and hustling to prove something, but the version of you that's grounded, present, open. So if you're in that space right now, where everything feels stuck or delayed, or you don't know what the next move is, what if that's not a mistake? What if that's the setup? What if this moment is the exact moment where life is rearranging itself in your favor? Because I promise you, when you stop fighting the silence, you start hearing what it was trying to tell you the whole time. The question isn't, when will I get what I want? The question is, can I trust what I can't see yet? That's the real work. So now let's just come back to you. Right here. Not the version of you from yesterday, not the one you're trying to become tomorrow. Just you. You've been carrying a lot, thinking you need all the answers, thinking you need to figure everything out by the end of the week or else you're failing. You don't. You never did. Sometimes the pressure you feel isn't even yours. It's the world's noise, timelines that don't belong to you, expectations you never agreed to. You're allowed to let that weight drop. You don't have to be hyper-productive today. You don't have to make sense of everything right away. You don't have to chase some perfect version of yourself to be worthy of peace. The truth is, life already knows what it's doing with you. Call it God, the universe, your intuition, whatever you believe in, just know this. It hasn't left you. It's not working against you. You're not behind. You're just in it. And maybe this is exactly where you're supposed to be. So if today is hard, let it be hard. But don't rush out of it. Don't panic. Don't try to outrun your own path. Trust it. Let the next moment come to you. And if anything in this video made you pause, even just for a second, leave the word trust down in the comments. If this video helped you even a little bit, drop a like, hit subscribe, and I'll see you right here in the next one.